Welcome back to the Stogie Geeks Show, episode 193. This is Will Cooper. I'm in Studio C in North Carolina, and the team in Rhode Island, Paul Asadorian and the crew, are up now. In what we have is the new Villiger North America Studios. And we're proud to kind of have a new studio sponsor. And joining us from Villiger North America is the new president of Villiger North America, Mr. Rene Castaneda. Rene, how you doing today?
I'm very good, my friend. Sorry that we have some technical difficulties. I'm in Nicaragua right now, but it's great to be with you.
Well, thank you so much again for the support. And I know that you had to come down to Nicaragua with everything, heading into the trade show and FDA. So, we really do appreciate you making the time for this.
Now, listen, my pleasure. As you know, we have all the FDA regulations coming by August the 8th, so we need to be in compliance with a lot of things. So it was a must for me to be over here, but I do appreciate that you're accommodating the fact that we have some, technical, so low connection over here, the technical difficulties in the connection. So let's do our best, to make things happen, okay?
Hey, we appreciate it as well.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm excited about it as well. In fact, I was smoking a Villiger cigar, the Trill, earlier, and some folks in the lounge next door recognized it and spoke very highly of it. So that's one of my favorite blends that you guys make as well.
Great, thank you so much.
I'm smoking the new Sandoro Claro, a great Connecticut cigar, and just excellent smooth cigar. And I've had the Sandoros, and we'll get into a little bit of those cigars. So Rene, kind of taking a step back, let's kind of go back to last year, and there was some changes that happened in Villiger last year. I think a lot of folks know that there was some changes. As far as I know, living in Charlotte, North Carolina, the big thing was that the company moved its headquarters from Charlotte to Miami. But there was also, I would say, basically an overhaul of the company. Can you talk a little about what went on the end of last year?
Yes, let me first put it in context. A couple of things here. One, the company decided to dismiss the whole staff that it had in the Villiger North America on November 2015. I came on board with the company on February 2016. I wasn't part of the decision process. A little bit what happened. It was mainly a business decision. The company was losing money. The company lost $2 million in the market last year. So for the sales that we had, it was a lot of money. And as a business decision, they were confronted with the situation of two options: either to shut down the U.S. operations or to make radical changes into the operations in Villiger North America. So they evaluated the options, and looking at the different options, they were leaning to pull out of the U.S. But finally, they decided to stay, and that's when I started the interview process to come on board and to see if I can help them out to get things on track, or at least to build a solid foundation, meaning a financial solid foundation for the company, and to build something for the future.
So, and again, Villiger, for folks, I mean, you could probably tell us more about this. Villiger's a European company that's primarily been involved with the machine-made component, correct?
Absolutely. We have our two main factories are in Switzerland and Germany. Our flagship brand is the Villiger Export, which is a unique cigar. Is a machine-made box press cigars, and Villiger is perceived in the market of the machine-mades as the premium of the machine-made cigars. But yes, it's based out of Switzerland, and we do have the factories in Switzerland, Germany, Indonesia, and in Brazil. But the one in Brazil is for handmade cigars.
Got it. And as far as Villiger North America, that is the distribution arm for basically the U.S. market, correct?
Absolutely. We were based in North Carolina, and we were in a year working with Sutliff. They were doing the distribution for us out of Virginia. And now we are in Miami. In Miami, we have the headquarters, the sales office, and the distribution center for the machine-made cigars, the handmade cigars. And for tax reasons, we left the distribution of the pipe tobacco with our friends at Sutliff to be done from Virginia, because as you might know, for the OTP taxes in Florida that is 85%. So for pipe tobacco, it's 85% in the state of Florida.
So, Rene, you made a really good point. I mean, so last year obviously was a financially tough year for this division in North America. It Villiger could have easily, I guess, said, "Hey, you know what, FDA's coming. We're done with this market. We haven't had success here. We lost money and move on." But obviously, the company's made a very strategic decision to give it a go in this market at some of the at some very crucial points right now. So that's kind of where I'm curious. Is obviously Villiger's taken an aggressive move considering everything going on. Can you talk a little about that?
Absolutely. The main focus right now is to try to get the distribution possible for the machine-made cigars, but at the same time, you're planning to take more like a slow step-by-step execution plan from the handmade cigars. But because of the FDA was thrown in the picture like very early in these decision in these changes. So we have no choice but to move forward with the handmade cigars and to build a portfolio for the future for Villiger handmade cigars. So definitely the strategy is that part, to increase our base of distribution for the machine-made cigars, to make sure that we can do the right steps and have the right partners on the handmade cigars in order to have a better portfolio of product, to create an identity and to have a cohesive message in the U.S. market for our premium handmade cigars.
Excellent, excellent.
Now,
I know I've been kind of
no, it's
monopolizing.
okay. Yeah, I was just going to ask Rene. So, does Villiger make any infused or flavored cigars?
Actually, we do have some flavored cigars on the machine-made side. We have some selections they're pretty much new for the U.S. market. Actually, that's one of the items that we're debating if we're going to be able to stay with them for the U.S. market, because even for Europe, they were released just about 3-4 years ago. So we're trying to take that in consideration. Fortunately for us, the machine-made product, where we generate 90% of our sales, is the portfolio that is going to be grandfathered in. We even have fortunate situation on the machine-made that for the most part, the portfolio will be grandfathered through the FDA application or approval process.
And any new flavored cigars will be released in the European market. I'm assuming that's still okay there?
Remember this, the European market is also going with a lot of regulations. We think that we have it bad over here, but they do have very strict regulations over there. They were, in a way, fortunate enough, if you want to call it that way, that they had 2 years to get prepared. It's not like us that they gave the news on May and now they get into effect on August. They had 2 years to put together all the pieces, but they're also tough, they're strong, they're hard, and there is going to be a lot of changes in the European market, like, from the warning labels that cover like 70%. We're complaining because we're going to be covering the boxes 30%. They have to cover the boxes 70%. So it's also a very aggressive attack to the tobacco industry in Europe. So everything is also measured step by step, what we can do, what we cannot do in Europe, because it is also difficult, all the regulations that they just got in place over there.
And Rene, if I understand it correctly, that's governed or regulated by the EU, correct? So the European Union's kind of doing it for all those EU countries.
Oh, yes. And even when you take in consideration for the flavored cigars, they have regulations of how much flavor you can use. So when you take a vanilla cigar, made for the European market, it's kind of like a hint of vanilla, to call it in a way, because the regulations that they have are very strict on the amount of flavor. They haven't banned the flavored cigar over there. And the good thing is, at least, that they have measured, okay, you can use this percentage of the flavor, you can use these ingredients, you can use that ingredient. So they have that very regulated, which at the beginning, like for us now, when they were confronted with all that, it was very difficult, but they have made the adjustments to be ready for the market in this new reality,
Absolutely. So Rene, obviously, obviously Villiger is still very much interested in being a premium handmade cigar company. So are there some things in the portfolio right now as far as restructuring goes? Are there some things that are going to be highlighted, I think, that folks can look forward to, in 2016?
Yes, actually, that's also one of the reasons that I'm here in Nicaragua, because the couple of things that we're planning to release is to complement the portfolio on the stronger side of our profile of cigars that we have out there. The ones that we have right now, meaning the Connecticut Cream, the Villiger Talanga, the Villiger Colorado, and now with the Villiger Sandoro, the Sandoro Claro that you were smoking, the Sandoro Colorado, the Sandoro Maduro, all of them are more from mild to medium. We don't have anything medium plus or medium full. And that's the reason that we are working for this project with our friends at Joya de Nicaragua in the development of these new products, for the next stage, and to make sure that we have a complete portfolio of products, or at least a good offering for the U.S. market, because our portfolio was too adjusted to the European market.
Got it.
Rene, I just want to go back, and I don't know if you're going to know the answer to this or not, but we talked about the European market. Will the recent Brexit that happened to the United Kingdom, will that have an effect on tobacco? Is there any speculation on what changes might be coming there?
Well, actually, I really don't have an answer on that one. All I know that, like maybe what you have seen in the news and my conversations with the head of the large cigars over there, is that they have a year and a half, under the same regulations. They're also waiting and see if there is any changes regarding that they deal with tobacco products with the UK.
Right. So likely a change coming, but no one really knows what it's going to be yet.
Yes, yes, because as of now, everything was governed by the
EU, right?
EU, and now things could change. So it's pretty much a speculation at this point.
And probably my speculation is things might not get better, could get worse, but who knows?
Yes, you're right. And let me tell you that actually, for example, on the flavor cigars, the standards that were established were the standards of the UK that were the strongest one on that market. So that was so usually they have a very good. And remember, for example, the UK was trying to include the type of packaging that is used right now in Australia. It was even presented. I don't know how's it going that in the parliament, if it's going well or not, but they were trying to use the same type of plain packaging that Australia is using right now. So usually UK is not that easy when it comes to tobacco either.
Right.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Sorry, Rene, that's not more good news for any of our listeners. We have listeners across the globe.
That's the reason that today, when I was having the meeting with the team, with Dr. Alejandro Martinez Cuenca and his team over here, it's listen, we just need to get used to reality, and we are getting prepared for this new reality, these new situations, and we need to make sure that we know how to navigate through this transition. I think the toughest part is to learn as much as we can about these FDA regulations, which unfortunately has a lot of gray area, but we need. This is a new reality, and we need to know how to deal with this. I think that even that law gives many options and many doors for mostly everybody have a chance to continue doing business.
Rene, actually, you mentioned Dr. Cuenca, and we actually just did an interview with Dr. Cuenca a few weeks ago. He was in Charlotte, and he made a really interesting point to me. He said that, he's been dealing with regulatory agencies his career. But I guess the thing that really bothered him was what was happening in the U.S. market that he saw different were the costs that were being associated with it.
Absolutely. I think that was one of the things that we were discussing today, and it's the cost. That we really don't know what is going to be the final cost of this, and it could change. We really don't know. We're waiting to see if when you go through a process like substantial, they might want some lab tests at the end. We're not expecting that, but it is a possibility. So that uncertainty is what makes things, difficult to make decisions fast enough to adjust to the new reality.
Absolutely.
Hello, did I lose you guys?
No, you're still there. Yeah, it was just a little bit of a delay, but it's going okay.
Yep, it's going good. Rene, so Villiger's strategy, in terms of the premium handmade spaces, you guys are partnering with different factories, and you mentioned you have a factory in Brazil. Is that where the Sandoro Maduro is coming from, and the Tobahara?
Usually, and that's one of the things that we are evaluating about the products made at that factory. We're trying to see if we have any options to keep going with these brands, and being such a unique cigar as a Brazilian Puro. So we're taking a very close look at what the options are, and because we would like to keep those brands in the market. And again, it's our factory, so.
Yeah, yep. And then obviously you're working with factories. Yeah.
Keep doing, making cigars in Brazil.
Absolutely. I actually just had that cigar, and it is a very unique cigar. Having that Brazilian Puro wasn't what I expected, and it's very good, actually. I was very pleased with it.
Not tell you, we're fortunate enough, and we have seen the response from the customers in the last month that we have been promoting heavily the oldest Sandoro line, and this one is the one that we are very pleased with the comments, the surprise, the phone calls, the emails that we're getting from the friends and customers that the cigar is doing and performing very well in the market.
Absolutely. And you're making you have two other Sandoros. You have the Claro and the Colorado. Where are those being made?
Those are made by Oliva here in Nicaragua. And of course, Oliva has a great quality on the Nicaraguan tobaccos, and their way of blending and the way of making beautiful cigars and great blends. So we're very pleased with those two. One, like the Claro on the mild with character. I would call that a cigar. It's a mild Connecticut wrapper with character, and the other one is the Sandoro Colorado, which is medium body, solid, but with complexity. So I like both of them. Has the uniqueness, but both of them has complexity and character on the mild one.
I'm looking at these Sandoros, and what I've noticed is I'm looking at the packaging, and I see the Villiger name back on the brand, which I know when Trill and Cuellar and Cabarete Maduro came out, there was a move away from the Villiger brand. Was this a deliberate strategy to put the Villiger name back on the cigar?
Yes, absolutely. We want to make sure that in this process we create an identity for Villiger brands as a premium, cigar maker, not just as a machine cigar maker. And we are trying to align everything under that umbrella until we establish a solid foundation for the Villiger handmade cigars, to move away to different brands. So it is an to keep that name in front of everybody and to build from that name. We have a huge history. It's a company that has more than 125 years in the tobacco business. So we want to make sure that we use that and we bring we build some legacy on the premium cigars and the handmade cigars, in the U.S. market and globally.
Absolutely. What is Sandoro? What's the meaning behind Sandoro?
That was the way that Christopher Columbus put on the records when he saw tobacco using the Latin name as the Indoro Sana Sancta, pretty much the leaf healing from the Indian, the healing leaf from the Indians. That's what it means in Latin, the Indorum Sana Sancta, the holy leaf for healing the Indians. Pretty much he saw the Indians relaxing, smoking, taking it easy, being peaceful, and he thought that was the way that he put it on the records and when, in Latin words.
I always say at Columbus, he discovered America. I'll say he discovered America. And in my house, that's how it is with my kids. And he discovered tobacco. That's what I'll say too. That's the hero of my house. If you watch The Sopranos, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I agree. The main thing that he brought to the Europeans was tobacco, man.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
Exactly. Even more important.
More questions for Rene?
Yes.
Okay. So Rene, as far as now, kind of going back to how we started, there was some changes that happened, obviously, and there was a negative reaction I heard from some of the retailers and customers with how things went down last year. Now you've come in, you're an industry veteran. You've got a tough job now because I think Villiger does have some things they have to kind of reestablish with their retail and consumer partners. So what's part of the strategy you're going to look for with that?
Let me tell you one thing. One of the things that I have to acknowledge is that decision, but it wasn't executed properly. So I need to make sure that for the customers to clarify that part, and out of respect for the team that was in Villiger before, I think unfortunately the situation wasn't handled properly, and I mean a little, bordering to disrespectful. So that's a challenge because that I've been a rep for the most part of my cigar life. I still consider myself a rep because I go to the stores, I visit the customers, I try to build that brands, and I know the effort, the hard work, the sacrifices that every single salesperson have to make in order to build any brands. And you build that relation, you combine that with the relationship that we all built with the retailers. So you don't want to, if your friends, done something wrong, because you get affected, you get emotional involved in the situation, and that's the part that I have to acknowledge. I cannot deny that unfortunately the situation wasn't handled properly, but at the same time, I'm trying to bring the message to the retailers and myself, putting on the front that the company is committed to the U.S. market, that we're making some changes. We want to make the company financially stable or viable in the U.S. market. So that was part of my first challenge, and it's still part of my first challenge, to make the company financially solid, that it can be independent, not to have just the big company in the Europe sending us money and supporting us, like you have your dad sending money when you go to college all the time. So it's part of that, to be that independent, to create a foundation for the company, and at the same time we have to build, the brands, the new image, taking in consideration that we had we had a negative start, and it's part of building that trust with the retailers again, and showing respect to everybody out there. So sounds like basic, simple, but it's that we have to recognize, show respect, and move on into the new stages or era of the Villiger cigars.
Yeah, Rene, business decisions are very tough. There's no question. I mean, I work in corporate America in my day job, and when you make a business decision, you can't make everybody happy for one thing, and sometimes people are going to get hurt. And yes, sometimes mistakes are made, as you've acknowledged. So I think that being said, I think there's a really. I mean, I know when we started talking, we saw a really solid foundation for what Villiger was looking from 2016 and beyond, which I think is a real exciting thing. Company with 125 plus years history, family owned, still in Europe. So I mean, uh, I think it's a good start for you guys from that respect.
No, thank you very much. And again, we are taking a step by step in building the trust, and I think that we have a great customer service, that stay, that didn't change, because they had the relationship with customers, they had the first contact, with the customers, and they had the respect and relationship with the customers. So even that part that it was supposed to change, that part I was able to put on hold and build from there. That it was, for me at least, a good foundation to build a new team. That was the people that was at the customer service, that they were doing an amazing job, and they're still doing an amazing job. So it's that, we're trying to make sense of the financial part. We're trying to put the distribution in place for all the machine mates, and we're trying to build the new portfolio of the premium handmade cigars. We were supposed to take a little bit extra time to do this handmade portfolio, to put together this handmade portfolio, but our friends of the FDA had other things in mind, in plans, so we have to move a little bit faster to make that happen.
Yeah, so you had basically like 2 years of plans going to 90 days now, which for everybody, right? Yeah.
No, it is a little bit crazy. And I've been talking to several people, and everybody's using the same statement that you said. Hey, what we were supposed to do in 1 or 2 years, we're trying to do here in 90 days or 60 now, because by the time that the laws were announced, and finally in 30 days, when everybody had an event, so it's when everybody started moving and trying to make things happen.
So as far as what you're working on down there, this is stuff we can expect to see at IPCPR in a couple of weeks, at least, unveiled.
Actually, no. And I'm going to tell you, it's a simple reason for this. We are taking all the steps to be in compliance with the FDA for these products, but I think the IPCPR will be too crowded with new brands, that it will make no sense to put a new brand out there just for the sake of the brand. So the plan or the strategies, let's get in compliance with the FDA, and later in the year, we'll put the new projects out there when it makes time, when it's not too crowded, when it's not too noisy, that we can give the right space and time to one of the brands that we're going to release to the market.
So as far as I go, that's actually a very interesting. That's an approach I haven't heard many companies say, because everyone else I'm hearing saying, well, "Oh, we're going to get this before August 8th," but you guys are saying we'll get in compliance and we'll just follow the compliance procedures going forward later in the year.
Absolutely, and that is the strategy. Expecting many companies, by talking to some of my friends out there, too many releases like the IPCPR. For where we are as a company, that we need to build things step by step, we're going to try to space them out to take the right steps. So if there is no need to put this in the market today, other than from the compliances with the FDA, we'll do that. And later on, we do the right thing to release the cigars and to give them their own space in the marketplace.
That's great. That's actually a really great. You know, I hope the FDA actually lives up to their end of the bargain, right?
We can
Absolutely.
we can only hope. Well, we look forward to new Villiger releases, Rene. We thank you for your support here on the Stogie Geeks show. We look forward to smoking yet even more Villiger cigars and talking about them on the show.
Listen, thank you so much. And listen, next time we'll try to do it when we have some images over here. At least I'm hiding over here in Nicaragua now.
Yeah. Hey, Rene, I look forward to meeting you at the trade show in a couple of weeks, so I'll see you there.
Thanks, Rene. This is a significant lag.
With me, okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Rene.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.